Hello and welcome. You found the Social Work Podcast. My name's Jonathan Singer, and I'll be your host as we explore all things social work. Hey there, podcast listeners. Jonathan here. Whew, I got some big news for you. Well, it's big news for me. It's kind of big news for all of us. So, I was selected as one of 25 social work pioneers for starting the Social Work Podcast. The NASW Social Work Pioneers program celebrates some of the most influential social workers in the nation. It's kind of the Social Work Hall of Fame. And there's no way that I would have been considered for this prestigious honor had it not been for you, my longtime devoted listeners of the Social Work Podcast. You have welcomed me into your morning and evening commutes, your bus rides to class, your workouts, and really wherever you learn on the go. And when I started the podcast in 2007, I hoped that a handful of social work students would find my summaries of practice theories useful. I went to conferences and I handed out social work podcast bookmarks, and I explained what a podcast was, mostly to polite but sort of disinterested folks. And now 15 years later, the episodes have been assigned to hundreds of thousands of students and downloaded millions of times. There are now dozens of social work related podcasts all over the world, including Dave Niven's Social World podcast from the UK. You get folks like Mim Fox and Ben Joseph in Australia who are doing amazing work with co-construction of podcasts. And of course, Shimon Cohen's Doing the Work podcast right here in the USA. I mean, I could go on and on and on, but thank you for making podcasts something that people want to make about social work. Now, I want to just briefly thank the folks who nominated and wrote letters of support for me, including social work pioneer Linda Grobman, who's the publisher of the New Social Worker magazine, Jennifer Luna, who you might remember from an episode 14 years ago when she interviewed me about the 1-year anniversary of the podcast. It is quite an epic archival episode for you there. But I'm also going to be talking with Jennifer in an episode that's going to come out in a few months about social work branding. And also Allan Barsky, who is a social work professor at Florida International University, whom I've had on the podcast several times talking about ethics and social work. Now, to learn more about this year's inductees into the NASW Social Work Pioneers Hall of Fame or Pioneers Group. It's so new, I don't even know what to call it. You can go to NASW's website, or you can search NASW Social Work Pioneers in your favorite search engine. Again, thanks for all of your support throughout the years. I'm truly honored. But don't think this means that I'm going away. I'm not. I have a bunch of episodes that I'm really excited about coming out this year. So, thanks for listening. I'm Jonathan Singer, and thanks for being with me today for another episode of the Social Work Podcast. If you missed an episode or have suggestions for future episodes, please visit socialworkpodcast.com. If you'd like to support the podcast, please visit our online store at cafepress.com/swpodcast. To all the social workers out there, keep up the good work. We'll see you next time at the Social Work Podcast.